Hello and welcome. You join me, ADG, and here we are in the Fusion Elite lobby for the third race of the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship hosted by the Mature Racing Club. And this time round we're at Sardegna Road Track A2 for another half an hour race. So we've already had two races around Willow Springs and Fuji last week. And they made for some great races. Hopefully this one's just as good to watch back. And yeah, without much further ado, we'll go through the qualifying order. I surprised myself dramatically by putting it in pole position. I think it'll be my first and only pole ever on in Fusion. So in the Audi TT, I'm in pole. Dawson in second in the Nissan GTR. We've got Moz in third in the Nissan GTR as well. Quite a popular car, as you will see going through the field. White Shark Jim is in fourth in the Ford Mustang. We've got White Shark Phil in fifth in the Honda NSX. Robust the Hood is in the Nissan GTR. JRC is in seventh in the GTR. Ginger Crackhead in eighth in the GTR. CJW in the GTR in ninth. Street Boy is in 10th in the GTR, Faithless Emo in 11th in the GTR, Pav in the GTR in 12th, and we have Rick 33 GTR, which is ironically in a Subaru, in 13th position. So without much further ado, I'll jump back on board with myself, watch my terrible start in the TT. Revs are rising, waiting for the lights to go out. I actually jumped the start a little bit here, so I jump the start, get bogged down enough as it is in the TT. Dawson gets away into first, Moz into second, White Shark Jim into third, and looking back, we're all left to battle away. We've got Robust Hood in fourth, so great start from Robust Hood, made up two positions, starting in sixth. Ginger Crackhead doing a similar thing, up into fifth. I've managed to drop down into 8th position from pole position, heading into the braking zone for turn 2. JRC in 6th, so good start, everyone's got away nicely. Oh, a bit of contact there from JRC and Ginger Crackhead, unnecessarily, I dare say. We need to just follow each other through on this first lap and keep it clean. Everyone coming through. Oh, we see Rick 33 GTR making a bit of a dive down the inside, but gets the job done on CJW behind. Side by side on the exit now. Ahead we've got me going side by side with JRC. Looking from White Shark Phil's perspective. Just about managed to get it done on the exit as well, so pull ahead of JRC and get myself up into 6th. Trying to rectify my bad start and try and get some positions back. CJW getting past Rick there in the background. So the leaders, let's have a look. We've got Dawson still leading away from Moz. White Shark Jim in third and Robert Hood in fourth, leading away from his brother in fifth. Skip up the camera angles now. And away we go on to lap 2. Everyone getting through the first corner. As you can see, it's a particularly dodgy exit on that first corner. Going down the inside is me on on Ginger Crackhead. Running it side by side now with Ginger Crackhead into this tight right-hander, giving each other a little bit of respect and room. I do quite a lot of racing with Ginger Crackhead and vice versa, obviously, so we know how each other race. I didn't quite see JRC coming through there, so I touched him into the wall a little bit by accident. I did apologise. We all follow through quite nicely. Oh, a big slide there from Faithless Emo heading into there. Lost the rear end, and we've got Rick right at the back now in 13th, Faithless Emo in 12th, Pav in 11th, CJW in 10th, Street Boy in 9th, White Shark Phil in 8th. We've got JRC in 7th, ADG going down the inside of Ginger Crackhead in 6th, Ginger Crackhead in 5th, Robert the Hood in 4th, White Shark Jim in 3rd, Moz in 2nd and Dawson in 1st. So the opening laps have mixed up the order quite a lot to start off with. As you can see, I've got myself back up to 5th. I don't want to make this race all about me, but there is quite a lot of action from me at the beginning part of this race. It's a great train developing here as well. So we've got myself in 5th position, and that goes all the way down with quite a long train to CJW slightly behind in 10th. So we've got 5 cars all following each other closely. Oh, CJW on the start of lap 3, just collecting the wall on the exit of the T1. No, unfortunate to see. We did mention they hit it a few times, but it's never good to actually see it. So there we see a little incident as well. I'm going to go back from Street Boy and Ginger Crackhead. Let's go on board with Street Boy. Oh, White Shark Phil just clipping the wall in front of him, manages to find a gap to get through, but then just goes a little bit late on the brakes and just collects Ginger Crackhead's door. So just goes straight into the side of him, slows down to wait for him, as are the MRC rules and sportsmanship like behaviour. And there we go, Ginger Crackhead gets going again, but he finds himself side by side with CJW, so CJW gets passed around the outside as Ginger Crackhead's getting back up to speed. So CJW makes a good opportunity out of that incident and gets himself up into 8th. But unfortunately, yeah, Ginger Crackhead and Street Boy missing out a little bit there with a bit of an incident. On board with JRC, chasing the back of ADG 123 in the Audi TT. So the pack has slowly sorted itself out now, and there's a bit of a gap developed between the cars, but not quite as close as it was in those opening 2 laps. But still plenty of time in this race to go. We're only 5 minutes through. So we'll jump on board with the leaders. They look to be having a good race up front. We've got Dawson in 1st, but only just, with Moz right on his bumper. Getting through that first corner nicely, running it very close to that exit barrier though, but doing a neat job of it. White Shark Jim doing a great job on the brakes, just seems to close up quite a lot into that. The White Shark Jim slowly is becoming involved in this race towards the top. Dawson and Moz did a great job on lap 1, it must be said, to just gain that little bit of a gap there. So they've had no pressure from the start really, and just had each other to race against. Not been involved in all the battles going on behind. It does, however, mean if they get a good result here that they do start at the back in race 2 because of the reverse grid. So watching on board with Dawson and Moz is not dropping off one little bit through any of these corners. He's right on the bumper, keeping it neat and tidy as well, keeping the braking respectful, not touching each other at all on the brakes. So Moz going for the move eventually. Dawson just lets it happen. Don't force too much of a defence out of it. And there we go, Moz up into the lead, so great move. Dawson now just has a chance to follow in his slipstream. So we'll quickly go back through, see what else is going on. We've got Robert Hood and myself side by side. I'm trying to go down the inside into T1 now to take first place. Robert Hood thinks better of it, knowing that it's a dodgy corner, and backs out. Lets me take the inside line. Tries to get me back on the outside with the cutback around here though. Just managed to get a good apex and get the drive out there to stay ahead of Robust at this point. So get myself up into 4th, and Robust is now in 5th. Great racing between us two though. We do quite a lot of racing together, and it's always good to see each other on track in an actual league race that matters. JRC with White Shark Phil right on his bumper as well. So little individual battles going on now, rather than big trains of cars. See what CJW is up to in a second. Oh, White Shark Phil just catching the barrier on the exit there, a little bit of understeer. Just went wide. So he's lost a little bit of momentum now on JRC in front of him. Can he gain it back through these couple of corners? Looks like he has, and he's got back on his bumper. Let's have a look at CJW. CJW are having a race as well. So, like I say, everyone having their own little individual kind of battles here with just one car now. So CJW's got Ginger Crackhead to race away with. Racing for 8th position between them. We'll check out what's going on with... Well, no, we'll see what happens into this first corner. See if there's a move made by Ginger Crackhead. Looks like he's got the chance, maybe not. Thinks better of it. Just takes the racing line through there. It is an incredibly brave thing to do, to go side by side through there. Some may say stupid. Yeah, in the background we can see Pav leading away from Faithful Seaman and Street Boy. So again, this is probably the closest actual free car train on the track at the moment, but they're battling away for 10th position. And then I think right at the back in 13th we have Rick, unfortunately driving around on his own now in the Subaru. We'll go back on board, see how Moz is doing to Dawson. Still in the lead, and he's picked up between these two what I could class as quite a big gap, because there's actually a bit of a gap. Not actually touching bumpers, not quite anyway. Ooh, a little moment from Dawson there on the curb, on the exit. Gathered it up rather quickly though, no big drama. So there is tyre wear on in these races. It's ×3 as well, so most people, I won't reveal what's going to happen in the race, but most people will be pitting during this race. So roughly around the halfway marker, which is obviously 15 minutes, we expect to see everyone diving into the pits, either roughly around that time, slightly before or slightly after. Me and Robert's still having a great battle. Robert's having a good run out of there as well. Doesn't quite get it side by side to have a chance to get his 4th position back, but still great racing between us two. He's putting a lot of pressure on there, and I need to keep these laps coming in nice and consistently to keep ahead of him. So easy to have a little mistake around here. It's not only the exit barriers that you've got to worry about. Sometimes you can actually hit the apex as well, because they're barriers as well sometimes. So you get too close to the apex, turn in a little bit too much, and yeah, you can clip that inside barrier quite easily. JRC has just pulled away now from White Shark Phil behind. And he's actually slowly catching Roberts in front, doing a great job in 6th position. Ginger Crackhead's now got past CJW and left him as well by the look of it. Quite a big gap developed between those two. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. I think CJW like I said earlier, did hit the, he's already mentioned after this race that he hit the first corner barrier 3 times in this race, so obviously a bit unfortunate for him, and it will have dropped him back considerably throughout the race. So no doubt that's what's given Ginger Crackhead so much breathing room this time round. See how Pav's going. This race is still going on behind. So Street Boy chasing down Faithful Seymour, which is trying his hardest to keep up with Pav in front. Just catching the wall on the exit, but didn't hurt him too much there. Street Boy didn't manage to get past. See what else is going on. I'll check in with the leaders again. Excuse me, just have a quick drink. So Moz, one of the Hungarian drivers, having a great race and just leading away from what's this going on behind? Me and Robos having a battle still. Lap after lap, we're still going at it. But yeah, jumping on board, one of the Hungarian drivers, Moz, joining us in the league this season. There seem to be quite a few of them scattered throughout the different lobbies in the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. Then there's 150 drivers plus involved in it now, so it keeps growing and growing. It's Europe's biggest unofficial league, apparently, I once heard. Stuck in my mind, did that. So the pit stops have started happening now. We've got JRC leaving the pits, myself just diving out of the pits, coming out in 6th, JRC in 7th. Ginger Crackhead not in the pits yet, so he's gone through and taken 5th position now. It was in 8th a moment ago. So White Shark Phil's pitted as well, and it's brought Street Boy right into the race behind him now. Street Boy's been released from Pav, which was leading the pack for most of the 15 minutes away from Street Boy and Faithful Seymour. CJW after the pits is now in 11th. Pav in 12th now. And Rick still unfortunately in 13th. Looks like he's going slowly as well for some reason. Not quite sure what's happened there. See what has happened there. He's coming into the pits. It looks like he might have some damage or something. Or it might be the end of Rick's race there, I dare say. Just skip through, see what action's going on now, really. Whoa, a little bit wide. Excuse me, a little bit wide from White Shark Phil in front and Faithful Seymour going through the same corner there. Just having a little moment to gather up on the exit. Always a little bit scary. So I didn't want to, I don't like the races where I do well because I have to focus on my racing quite a lot of the time, and I don't really like that. I like covering everyone else's just as much. But getting myself through, up into 4th, past Ginger Crackhead. Did the same move twice on him in this race. That's the same way I got past him in the first stint. So really happy it worked out again. Get myself up into 4th, Ginger Crackhead in 5th. So JRC and Roberts the Hood now. Got a close battle going on between them. Well, me and Roberts were quite close between before the pit stop, but I went a lap earlier and just got quite a good outlapping to manage to get a little bit of a gap, and then I think Roberts came out with a bit of traffic, so it made quite a bit of difference and spread us apart all of a sudden. Side by side, JRC and Roberts. Roberts on the inside now. Holding it round the outside, round that fast one. You can do that. And then hold it. The inside line does a great job as well. Little tap, but nothing malicious. And Roberts gets through up in 6th. White Shark Phil's watching this battle go on in front of him. Let's check back in with the leaders, because they've been incredibly close throughout this race, and it's worth just checking in and keeping an eye on how close they are. So again, we're in 18 minutes through now, and they're still bumper to bumper, so relentless battling from these two, and these two haven't actually pitted. So they're that far ahead now that the pit stops behind have made all the difference, and they feel that they can get away with possibly not pitting. Seeing as though they're both in the same car, kind of on the both at the same pace, on the same strategy, they can just match each other, so they don't have to worry about everyone else's strategy really. Frees them up to do whatever they like, which is obviously good for them. And that's just a benefit of getting away at the beginning, gaining such a gap, and saving the tyres as much as possible as well. So the action's dying down at the front a little bit, apart from the leaders obviously. We'll quickly skip through, and then if there's not a lot else going on, we'll jump back up to the leaders and watch an onboard lap with them. So JRC and Roberts the Hood hard at it for yet another lap, side by side through the same corner. We saw Roberts dive down the inside last time. Will he do it again? Not quite this time round. JRC holding a good strong outside line and good pace. Great driving between these two. JRC taking the position of Roberts. So quickly skip through, make sure there's no dramatic action going on, and then we'll jump on board with Dawson for a lap, I think, and see how he's tackling, keeping up with Moz in front in first position, and see if he's got any opportunities on this next lap to make it work. Ginger Kraken in the pits from 8th, in 8th position now. Sorry, into 9th as CJW gets past. Nope, he's in 8th. So confusing GT Sport sometimes, I do apologise. Flicks about with the order and you're never quite sure. I should just wait until it's definite. So Dawson catching the inside there, I mentioned that earlier, it is a bit of a hazard of this track. You can catch the inside apexes, the inside walls. It's just lost him a little bit of momentum out there, so for the first time in a while, Moz has got a few car lengths breathing room. Good competitive racing between these two though, pushing each other to the max all the way through this race, and obviously one little mistake or one moment on the grass or anything like that, and you were dropping back from each other, because the pace was just absolutely relentless between these two. So that moment alone, I don't know because I haven't watched this from Dawson's perspective, but that moment alone where he's dropped back a little bit now could be the moment that actually made all the difference. I don't know. Dawson might not have ever actually got a lot closer, so dummy in the pit stop there. Oh, incredibly late. Moz must have been incredibly close to hitting that barrier then, coming back out of the pits, trying to dummy Dawson into the pits. Interesting move. Interesting tactic, you don't often see that, but especially taken to that extremes. That was a late move to pull back out of the pits, and looked like he was very close to hitting that barrier. I'm almost tempted to go back and have a look, but I won't, just for the interest of the replay. But like I say, great racing going on between these two. Unbelievable, corner after corner. Just to give them some credit, because we don't always watch the leaders very much, because sometimes it's not the most exciting thing to watch, quite frankly. But this time round, yeah, great racing going on. Somehow my phone's just started playing a video in my pocket. That was rather strange. Okay, not that you needed to know that. Look at this. This is great stuff from these two. Got to be said. Just like our battle for first, this is relentless. The GTR just, it proves it's a really good car for actually racing closely with. Not just it's fast, but you're able to stick with each other really quite easily by the look of it. Obviously some great driving going on to do that, but at the same time it is very evenly driven, let's say, between a lot of the drivers. That's what I was trying to say. Let's have a quick skip through before we get towards the end of this race. CJW leading away from Ginger Crackhead again, so these two are at it again. Like I say, everyone's picked up a little rival in this race to have a little race against, a little battle against. Ginger Crackhead looks like he's got the chance here as well. Will he take it into T1? Not quite. Got the pace. CJW tapping the wall again. Wasn't actually the worst I've ever seen, so it slowed him down a little bit, but he's actually got the cutback. Nicely done, CJW. Hit the wall, lost momentum, so he should have lost that position, technically speaking, really, but made the cutback work from losing the pace, and great job to get that position back. Battling hard for it. Bumper to bumper now. Quite a good braking opportunity into this corner. No, Ginger Crackhead doesn't attempt. Oh, a little moment of oversteer from CJW on the exit gives Ginger Crackhead the run. Oh, around the outside. Nicely done, gets the inside for the next one. Brilliant overtake there from Ginger Crackhead. So although the battle in for 8th position, like I say, these little battles that are going on throughout the field, they're absolutely brilliant. Some great racing going on. See what Pav's up to. Pav, they've managed to get themselves back together again. Pav, Faithless Emo and Street Boy, towards the end of the race, still together like we saw right at the beginning, and Pav's still leading. It's still the same order as well, so it's a bit like deja vu every time I flip back to those guys. Moses now pulled quite a considerable gap, considering relative to the rest of the race anyway, over Dawson. So great little stint towards the end now to put these faster laps than Dawson in to secure the win, providing there's no incident towards the end. Still not stopped either, so they're obviously going for the no stop, and they made it work. Like I say, gaining that lead at the beginning was crucial to it. If they didn't have such a lead, then they wouldn't have been so much of an option, I don't think. But yeah, they worked hard together. They worked hard at the beginning, and it looked like they worked together to gain the lead. They weren't really battling corner after corner, so they weren't slowing each other down, and just got away from the pack, which has allowed them to do the no stop. So quite interesting in a way. White Shark Jim having a great race, being in 3rd position from the start. He managed to get into 3rd before the first corner, and I don't think he's been shoved out of it since. So this battle looks like it's simmered down a little bit from a rolling boil, but it's still anyone's by the look of it. There's nothing in it really. Oh, Robert's very close moment. Tiny moment he had, but didn't quite hit the wall. So coming towards the end now, we will give the respect to the leader, I think, as he comes over the line, but up until then we will see what else is going on and just flick through and see if there's any last minute action going on. I'm eager to get back to Pav and Kerr to see what's going on there. Faithful Seymour is now in 10th, so something's happened. Pav's in 12th now, so the order has changed. Faithful Seymour's managed to get past Pav and Sir Street Boy, and Pav finds himself the last remaining runner at the moment in 12th. Rick 33 GTR, we saw him going to the pits earlier and he's never left, so just sat in the pits waiting for the second race to start, waiting for the team to repair his car. So, like I say, we will skip up and watch the action towards the top. Give the credit to the boys who've been working really hard to get this these podium positions. We'll go on board for a lap with Moz. We've just missed him come through the first corner, and that's fortunate for him because he actually did clip the barrier a little bit. See him come through T2. Good corner is this, you need to get it tucked in nice and close to that barrier, but you obviously don't want to hit it because it'll hit you out into the left hand side and then you've lost your line altogether. Tricky little braking zone as you have to start getting on the brakes as you turn into that corner and then get it hooked up for a good apex and a good exit. Just bought something, I've forgotten to write down the fastest lap, so I'm not sure who did the fastest lap and what it was in this race. Do apologise. We're just keeping it nice and neat, knows it's the last lap, knows he's got the win as long as he keeps it consistent and on the track. We'll go a couple of corners to go now, and he's taken the win. That's it, great race from Moz. Really great battle with Dawson pretty much the whole race long, and proving that he is rather quick and beating Dawson this time round. Dawson in second, White Shark Jim in third. Great race from Jim, like I say. I think he kept third position right from the start of that race. Fourth is myself, ADG123. Robus Hood brings it home in fifth. Good result for me and Robus. JRC in sixth. White Shark Phil in seventh. We've got Ginger Cracker coming over the line in eighth. CJW in ninth. Rounding out our top 10, got Faithful Seymour, and then we have Street Boy in 11th and Pav in 12th. Unfortunately, Rick not finishing the race, but still gets 13th position because there's no one else behind him. Oh, Pav's not come over the line. How rude. Pav stealing the glory here, going slowly. Getting the screen time. Maybe his sponsors have asked him to do it. Anyway, that's pretty much it as we see Pav come towards the end. So thank you very much for joining me. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed these, always helps out. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and do all that good stuff. Thank you for joining me once again. I've been ADG, really appreciate you watching, and I will see you again very soon for race 2 from round 2, which is around the Nürburgring GP. See you again soon, take care, look after yourselves, and bye for now.